Hello, I'm Red3yz, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 7 of the second series of my Minecraft Let's Play. So this week I'm getting back to my old tricks, and I'm totally overdoing a wheat farm. In fact, I'm not even going to finish it this episode, I warn you now. But yeah, it's sort of redstone-y, you know, in my badly explained way. And not too sure what I'm doing with all these sheep. Oh, and as usual, there's shortcuts into the description. And I apologize again for my voice and all the crackles and stuff. My sound card is still being weird. It is doing some crackling. On top of that, my throat is really bad now. My teeth aren't really hurting at all. But my throat is just sandpaper. And what else? Oh yeah, I got bitten by some weird bug. I got like a tiny bite and my back is like covered in hives, so I'm on painkillers and antihistamines, like antihistamines for the bite and painkillers for the toothache stuff. And yeah, feeling a bit silly now, but the episode is recorded, so I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so, what's different around here? Well, kind of hard to avoid. Yeah, got some mobs flowing up, and got some items dropping down, so that is definitely nice. And, yeah, because of that, I've had to move my bed here. Apart from that, I don't know, I'll take a quick look in the chests. There used to be a lot of dirt in here, it's all gone somewhere. Yeah, starting to get some gunpowder, been doing some more mining, some more lapis. Oh yeah, 14 ender pearls now. So, I think a few more and I'll head out and find a fortress. I think I need 12 to get it started or something. I'm not too sure. Actually, I might go and look for it if I get bored, and then I'll be more motivated to get enough ender pearls to get in there. Yeah, more iron. And by the way, if you want iron, all you have to do is go in the caves. Just stay in the caves. Don't do strip mining. Strip mining's too low for iron. You won't really find much. But in the caves, it's all just there. I mean, just waiting to be had. You don't even have to look around. Of course, caving is a little bit dangerous at times, but most of the time it's alright if you start from the top, you know, top down all the time. And that is the secret to getting iron. Well, my secret. Well, not really a secret. More dirt. Oh yeah, lots of spawners I found. There's a few I didn't even get the mossy from, and I can't find them again because the caves are kind of all over the place. I was trying to light up nearby over there. And, you know, I'll use these x-ray machines, but I won't kind of dig exactly... Whoops. Dig exactly where I know things are, and like I know there's caves there, but I just don't know how to get into them. I've tried a couple times, I can't find the entrance, and you know, I'll just have to keep on looking until I get it. However, you can see in the background last week that was all black and now it's all lit up. Yeah, bunch of stuff back there. That's where all the spawners are. I don't think there's any close enough for anything. There were two that almost were, but just out. Anyways. So, the mob trap is definitely working. I got lots of mobs flowing up when I stand around here. Actually, at times, if I stay here, they'll kind of bump into each other. You see, the only downside with this particular design I've done is it only accepts one mob at a time. So what happens is, you see they come up, they go to the right, and because there's water there, they still want to swim. So to make this more efficient, what I could do is put another block of water where that lava is, and then a sign on that dirt block, and then lava there. And that way, when mobs swim up, they swim up into each other, and they'll all occupy the same space and burn at the same time. I'm pretty sure the drops don't burn in there. I think they come out of the bottom of the mob, so not really a problem there. And of course I'm not getting any XP, but I don't really care about that. It's more for gunpowder and that kind of thing. And for that, it is working just fine. A few people said I might be getting spiders in my trap, so what I want to do is just quickly head down there and see if there are actually any. And if there are, then I don't know what to do, but if there aren't, I'll just explain how spiders spawn. So, oh, it's actually the first time I've genuinely needed to turn on the lights. So turn on the lights. Creeper there, no spiders. Look through here, no spiders. So, how do spiders spawn? I'll turn off the lights and go upstairs and show you. Okay, so spider spawning. This is something I learned from Roboticost, who is a really smart guy. He hasn't been making Minecraft videos anymore. In fact, I think he kind of removed some from his page. So I don't know where he is, but he's smart enough. Well, not smart enough, really smart. And he used to pull apart the game files and check what was actually happening, you know. So what happens when a spider spawns is, I'll just get some other blocks so you can see more clearly, is it spawns on a block, right? It spawns in the middle of a block. So you imagine a spider lands here and it's kind of overflowing on all of these blocks. It doesn't spawn in a corner, so it only takes a 2x2 space. It actually needs a 3x3 to spawn. So if you obstruct any of these spaces, then they will not be able to spawn. So there it won't be able to spawn, and so on. But if you obstruct there, then it can spawn. So the way my trap works is, I'll just sort of replicate it here. There's the pads like this, and there's a half block here, and another one here, and then the next pad begins over here. So the spider might try and spawn here, but there's this half block blocking him, and if he tries to spawn here, there's a half block. Same for any of the blocks on the pad. He could spawn if there was a block there, but this is where the water canals are. So that's it, basically. They don't spawn in a 2x2, they spawn in a 3x3. So they will be able to spawn on a single block. They don't need 9 blocks to spawn on. They just need space around them, so they can spawn on a single block. So the first thing I spent any real time working on was the rail system. You can see this control panel area is different. It has more buttons now. And I got some signs up. So Nether, Skelly Farm, and Wheat Farm. And this button here is also part of the Wheat Farm. So this is actually going to be the harvest button to harvest the wheat. And then you can take the rail and you go and pick it up. So then it'll all be there by the time you get there. That's kind of the idea behind that. And I used the same concept, the Tavi Rider single wire thing. And I realized I was watching his video back and he didn't really use it for very much. And I've really expanded on the concept here. I'm sure other people must do this, but I admit I don't really watch millions of Minecraft videos, so I don't know. But the way I have this set up now is there's going to be 6 buttons traveling down the same line. And yeah, so they come down here, keep on coming down here, and then they come out of here somehow. I don't know, I could probably make this different. Now, I don't really want to spend too much time talking about the redstone because I am working on it, and it will be a kind of evolving project, but basically, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll get back to it some other time. I mean, I keep on changing things. It's not too complicated, but it's kind of hard to explain the whole system. So the wheat farm line ends up coming all the way down here, And over here, under here, the wheat farm is up here. That's why there's water dripping down. And it goes up here to this RS Norlatch, which keeps the wheat farm open. And it like pulls pistons down and allows water to flow out. So this is basically the redstone for the wheat farm. It's just this RS Norlatch, which holds everything open. And so I just quickly wanted to show you that, and now we'll go up and check out the actual wheat farm. Oh yeah, this is actually part of the wheat farm as well. It's to do with the timing circuit. This is the reset here, which goes to the RS Norlatch and shuts off the water. And now I'll go outside and show you what it looks like. So I've come back here to the station, and I want to go to the wheat farm, so I get in the cart, hit the wheat farm button, and now instead of going to the nether portal up there, or all the way to the wheat farm, it turns me down here, and here I am. So, a fairly basic wheat farm for now. Well, not for long though. My plan is to make it a bit more interesting. Well, not interesting in its function, but in its, you know, automation. So that's what I want to get to in a minute. But you can see wheat farm here. What happens is the water, these 3 blocks here, the 3 dirt blocks retract, and then the water flows out, flows down here, harvests all the wheat. There's these cobblestone blocks wherever water falls down, because when it flows down onto a block, it destroys whatever's on the block, like if there's redstone or rails or wheat. So, yeah, a few missing here. But that's the basic thing, you know, wheat farm. Yeah. For the timer I showed you, this is where well, this is it. Basically what happens is, I was racking my brains to do a simple way of timing how long it takes an item to flow from the top of this thing all the way down to the bottom, because it's quite a while. And if you know me, you'll know that I don't like doing I don't like doing redstone timers. I think they're a waste and they lag your PC quite a lot. So, especially for long timers, I like doing mechanical things. And this is what I came up with. To figure out the time it takes an item to get from the top to the bottom, what I do is I send an item from the top to the bottom. So, yeah, I just built this waterway next to it with the same falls approximately. And at the end it falls down, or an item falls down. Sorry, I forgot to mention there's a dispenser at the top which shoots the item out at the same time that the water starts flowing down. And yeah, so the item flows down all the way down here, and at the end it will fall past the pressure plate on the sign, or on the fence. And the reason it's on the fence is so the item continues to fall and doesn't just land on the pressure plate and keep everything open. So that is basically it. Now I think what we'll do is we'll go back to the station and trigger the wheat farm and see if it actually works. And you'll see the problem is that I'm over here and I can't see the wheat farm. I have no idea of telling if it's on or not. So when I hit this button, I don't really know what I'm getting, right? So anyways, I'll hit it now because I've just been there and I know that it's harvesting. And we'll head over there quickly and maybe we'll get there in time to see the water shut off. I'm not sure exactly how long it takes. We'll get down here. Oh, have to fix that, I guess. Oh, it came back. That's good. And yeah, now you can see it's all doing its thing. So that's pretty standard there. But on this side, there should be flowing down somewhere. There should be an item. And actually, there doesn't appear to be one. So maybe I wired something wrong. It's quite possible I only recently was doing this. Yeah, I think that redstone is on. and it will fire the item when it turns off. So I have to put in a monostable circuit or something. So it should fire when I hit this. I didn't even do that. So I obviously... Oh, I took the dirt out. That's why. Okay, so you imagine it firing. There we go. And then the item comes all the way down. And I'll just give it a bit of a head start here so that all the soil doesn't become untilled. Throw in... I want that redstone. Precious redstone. Throw in a cobble. And you'll see when it falls down, you hear the pressure plate go and you see the water stops there. Of course, I have to replant everything manually, but that's just how wheat farms work. And also I'll have to make the wall a little bit higher there to make sure I get all the items. My plan now is I want to spend some time working on the detection, so I can see when it's grown, and that way I'll know whether I should harvest it or not. So the way I'm going to be doing that is, of course, with bud switches. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about bud switches, but basically, you know, you're able to detect when things change state or when a block is put down, or handily when wheat grows. So when the wheat grows, it will trigger a piston to shoot out, and yeah, I'll just show you that now. So I could have probably done this easier if I'd had these pistons facing downward. It would have made the wiring possibly a little bit simpler to see what's going on, but the problem is it doesn't really look as good. And more importantly, if they're down, then there's a chance the item could actually fall out of the little gap there. If I put the... Well, you know, I mean, they leave like a little gap. And items can fall down there, so... I think it probably would look better, or more importantly, actually, it looks better having them this way. Now, I wish you could have them somewhere else, like below it, or, you know, hidden, but it has to be next to it because it only detects... I don't know, actually, if there is a way to have these pistons hidden, then someone could tell me, because I didn't really do any research. Anyways, what I've come up with is this. So there's going to be bud switches along this side, spaced every 2 blocks if I can, and that way it will kind of sample the growth. Like, it won't be detecting every single block, but it will be detecting, like, I don't know, 8% of them or something like that. So you kind of get an idea of how many have grown. It doesn't give you a 100% accurate picture of if everything's grown, but it'll be good enough to decide whether to harvest or not. That's the idea anyways. So this is how I have it set up now. The wheat block is here, the piston is beside it, facing out here. To get the bud switch to work, I'm powering the block. You have to power a block, what's it called? Diagonally to it. So I could power here or here for this piston. And I'm going to power this one because that way I'll be able to have half blocks here or stairs or something, and there you can see it just triggered there when I put down a block next to it. So, oh yeah, an important thing about the wheat is it's not actually the soil block that's being triggered, it's the wheat above it, right? So it's detecting the wheat, not the soil block. And annoyingly, when you till soil, it doesn't conduct redstone. Like, you can't put a torch under this block here to make the bud switch for this piston, because it would be much nicer if I could have a torch under here, and that way I could lower the whole top of this thing. I wouldn't have to have a block at this level. So anyways, I'll do the best with what I know, basically. And yeah, so here you can see this one on the right has been triggered. This, what's it called? Redstone is on. And after this, I'm not too sure what to do. I mean, this one will come on, then this one will come on. You know, when they're all on, something has to happen. I think I only am going to be interested in knowing when they're all on, as opposed to knowing when like 90% of them are on, because 90% of 8% is only 7% and so forth. So I don't really care if like half of it's grown. I just want to know when it's all grown, more or less. Actually, I just thought I should set this next one up here, and you could watch that. So I've got the piston there next to the wheat, and again I want to power the block diagonally to it. So how do I do that? I'm going to take this away and get a torch there, and then a block above which I can put some redstone on. And now I have to power the piston diagonally. Okay, and I'm going to need another floating block here to get some power out of. I'll put one there. I mean a torch there. Block there. Redstone there, and then there we go. Okay, so the bud switches are in. I have installed, I'm not sure how many I made actually, I'll have to have a quick count. So, actually it's probably better if I look from the other side. It'll be a bit easier to see how many there are. Okay, so one there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 bud switches. I think there's about a stack just under here. So you get about a 1 in 6 sample of what's going on in the wheat farm. So not too bad. And I took a while to think about how to do the output for this system. And it's actually the next day now, and I slept on it and I figured it out. And you know, I've decided that what I am going to do is have some sort of indicator, you know. So there's 11 things, so it will be 0 to 11. And the way I'm going to do it is with minecarts. So this is turning out to be a huge, expensive wheat farm. Totally not really required at all, but it seems kind of fun. And I've worked out a way to use the minecarts, well, part of the system at least. So what I will do is go into creative mode and show you there, because it'll be probably a while before I get this all dug out properly and arranged, and it might look a bit more confusing once I've done that. So yeah, to creative mode. Okay, so here I am in my test world, and I'll just explain why this is kind of difficult. So the problem is I don't know the order that the bud switches are going to turn on. So if I want to combine all the outputs into some sort of meter, you know, where I can tell how many are done, not necessarily which ones though, you know, it's kind of hard to combine all the redstone for that. So you imagine that one is on, and then the next one over here turns on. I couldn't really think how I would do all this using redstone and then arrive at something where I had, I don't know, maybe some torches lighting up to show me the output. I mean, I could obviously just run lines, one line for each bud switch all the way to where I want the display to be. But that would use a lot of redstone, and it would probably cause a lot of lag as well without the particles and that kind of thing. So what I thought I would do is, once again, I would go to mechanical and set up something like this. So this has two modes. It has the output mode and refill mode, and basically each bud switch will be hooked up to well, actually what will happen, I'll kind of tell you in reverse order. When it's refilling, because that's the more interesting part, it will send a cart in, and the first one will get stuck in there, and then when I send the second one in, it will bounce off, make its way around and fill up the next slot. So I need to put in 11, and as long as you don't send them in too fast, it's fine. So that's 4, 5, whoops, that was too fast. 6, whatever, I think I'll just do it by hand, it'll be a bit quicker. Okay, one too many. Oi. Creative mode. A bit hard sometimes. So now you imagine it's reset. I've just planted all my wheat, and all the bud switches are in their off state. So what I do at this point is I reset all the turns, like so. And now what will happen is, when a bud switch gets triggered, like that one, it will send the card out. And the thing about this is, it doesn't matter which order it happens in. And as long as they don't, you know, all get activated at exactly the right time and the carts clog, then that should be okay. You know, I'll probably have to pay attention to it and see how often that kind of happens, or how often that kind of thing happens, but I think for the most part it'll be okay. And then the output, or the display at the end, will basically just be a PEZ, a minecart PEZ dispenser. So the first cart will come in, the second one will come in, and this way I can see, using a vertical indicator, how many of the bud switches have been triggered and if I should harvest my wheat. So yeah, pretty cool. And it's getting a bit dark here. And yeah, what I like about this is there's basically no lag. It's very expensive on the iron, but I do have a lot of iron. I happen to have just found a lot of gold, so I'm not too worried about that. And it will look pretty cool. It will be a feature. So yeah, kind of nice. You know, I started off doing these redstone things, pistons, trying to push the card out using detectors, these half blocks, or not half blocks, pressure plates on fences. I already had a fence. But in the end, I realized that, you know, I could just do this, because it was the refilling that was going to be hard. And instead of using RS NOR latches, I'm using the shape of the track. So, you know, it'll go in this way, but then when it comes back, it doesn't go all the way there, it goes through. So, pretty nice, I thought. So what I'm going to do is do some digging and set this up. Okay, one thing I don't have yet is a minecart dispenser here. I definitely need one, because I keep on forgetting them in all sorts of places. But let's harvest the wheat, because I know it's basically full. and hop in and go to the wheat farm. So yeah, past the enchanting thing, you can see I cleaned up there a little bit. Here we go, and here it all comes. So very cool. Let's see if the timer's working as it should this time. Yeah, I just saw the item fall down there. There's a cheeky creeper over there. This fence seems to keep most of them out, but I know there are places where they can get in. And there's the dirt block there. I'll move back just so I don't accidentally grab it. And then I can see if it did indeed get all the items down far enough, or if I have to adjust the timing at all. It seems to be doing great. All the stuff is down here. And I'll just get rid of this and see how much stuff I actually get out of it. Oh, wait, I don't want it back. Or I do want it back, but not yet. Okay. 48. I thought there was much more than that. Maybe it wasn't all grown. Okay, but what I'm going to do is reset the bud switches, and I can see if this is kind of working. You know, I still have lots of wiring to do here. I have no idea what I was thinking about with this design, because I haven't built the main part of it yet, so totally backwards thinking, really. But more on this, I guess, when it's all hooked up, or I'll have a world download soon. Yeah, I'll have a world download soon. But I think for now, I'm going to call it an episode. And yeah, I'll set this all up, and then I can have a nice time lapse at the start of the next episode of me getting it all looking nice and that kind of thing. And yeah, so most complicated wheat farm I've ever built, that's for sure. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering about this shovel, for some reason I enchanted it at like level 17. I had 25 levels and I got efficiency 2, which doesn't seem to make any difference at all. So not going to be too much help in this job here, but I guess it's better than nothing. Okay, bye bye.